very good day to all. Myself, Karthik Ravichandran. I'm a senior project engineer working at CDD Society. Today, I'll be presenting on the nature-based solutions in water and sanitation, especially focusing on what type of nature-based solutions are available for water body rejuvenation as such, and with a special focus on wetland treatment systems. CDD Society is a not-for-profit organization. We are located in Bangalore, India, and we have about 22 partners locally and about 5 to 6 partners across the globe. In this slide, you can see our service portfolio, which are designed keeping the community at the center and sort of creating a long-lasting impact. We work across four major verticals, which is the wastewater treatment, water body rejuvenation, fecal floods management, solid waste management, and we have on the horizontals technical consulting, capacity building, applied research and development, knowledge management, and lot. This slides provides a snapshot of CD's reach and impact, and you can see that we have worked all across South Asia, including Afghanistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar, and we have been contributing towards various sustainable development goals, as you see in this slide. In most of the cases across India and the world, everyone wants a sort of a quick fix, which means the solutions are technocentric. When you have solutions that technocentric, there's a problem of the operation of maintenance being high, which people can't afford it. That's a major reason why you could see there's a lot of sewage treatment plants in India that has operational issues and sometimes not functional at all. So what is actually needed is sort of a sustainable solution with an holistic approach that focuses on economics, environment, institutional and governments, and technology. So this is how try to approach a program. If you look traditionally, gray or hard infrastructure, which means the engineering projects that use concrete and steel, have dominated the efforts to reduce and manage impacts from natural disasters and to manage water resources. However, internationally, the focus is now shifting towards nature-based solutions for especially for water resource management, disaster risk reduction, as well as climate change adaptation. Natural systems have long provided many of these services communities seek from grey infrastructure. However, when you look at this NBS, we call it the nature-based solution or nature-based infrastructure, is sort of an approach that uses natural systems to provide critical services. One example is wetlands for flood management, or mangroves that reduce the impact of waves, storm surge, and coastal erosion. These solutions can also synergize with grey infrastructure, so forming called the hybrid solution. So this nature-based system can provide a cost-effective and a flexible approach, especially for disaster risk and water resource management. Today we're going to look at how NBA systems can be integrated into this water body rejuvenation, especially in the urban context. And we will just not focus on wastewater treatment, but also will focus more on the wetland treatment systems and the leakages. We'll also see two videos of how a water body is rejuvenated in an urban context. One is Rejuvenation of Mahavira Lake in Bangalore, as well as we'll be looking at canal rejuvenation in Alapi. Today, our water bodies suffer from multiple onslaughts and they are in a state of abject decline, so no one cares about water bodies. If you look at the problems that faced by water bodies or solid waste, there is wastewater inflow from the urban areas. Then you have a lot of nutrient inflow that causes weeds, weed growth, and then you have encroachments across the water bodies. What is happening here? If you look, the lake used to provide various services such as flood management, biodiversity enhancement, microclimate benefits, the livelihood, especially for fishing, and they used to also provide water security by recharging the ground. But now it's all lost now due to the conditions that have brought these lakes in. In the slide, you can see the holistic view of the problems, the issues and challenges, and the impact that is created on a lake. If you see, a lake has a catchment. The catchment, most of the problems for the lake is from the catchment, and it has impacted the ecosystem services that a lake provides. Here, if you see, the nature-based solutions play a major role to bring back the ecosystem services the lake provides. And especially, as I said, some of them are, as I said before, some of them are, flood management, you have biodiversity enhancement, microclimate benefits, water security. If you look at wetlands, wetlands have the properties, that they make them unique among the major ecosystem groups on the earth. They have a higher rate of biological activity than most of the ecosystems. They can transform any common pollutants that occur in conventional wastewaters into harmless byproducts, and making the wastewater or the water quality better. If you look at here in water body rejuvenation, we are trying to mimic that. We are bringing, we are implementing we call them as treatment wetlands, and we use them as tertiary treatment units to remove organics and nutrients. These transformations are accomplished by the virtue of wetlands land area, with land area, and these pollutant transformations can be obtained for a relatively low cost of earthwork, plumbing, piping, and with a very few structures. I could also say wetlands are one of the least expensive treatment systems to operate and maintain. Here in the picture, you can see these are floating wetlands that we have implemented in Mahadevpura Lake in Bangalore. So we have used pipes and cocoa peat and coconut coir to make these wetlands. Here, if you see the root of these plants, we have implemented typha. They call typha. Then we have Canna indica. Then we have papyrus, we have elephant ear plants, which is called colocasia. So all these plants, the roots are exposed to the water. So these roots sort of create an atmosphere for microbes and treat the wastewater or treat the water. The system also provides sort of a home to many biodiversity. Like we have seen many reptiles from those wetlands. We have seen insects, frogs, and a lot of birds' nest also located there. The previous example that you saw was a floating wetland, but we have a similar wetlands called free surface flow wetlands, which is very similar to natural wetlands. Here the plants are rooted to the soil, and the water is allowed to pass through them, and with a certain retention time. It's been designed for a certain retention time of say 2 to 3 days. These wetlands not only treat wastewater but also reduces silting in lakes, and nearly 40 to 60% of the biodiversity of the lake lives in the wetland areas. And since they have a high biological activity, the CO2 absorption is more and helps in reducing the green gas emissions. And also I feel that we have to convert nearly 10 to 15% of all the lakes area into wetlands. The pic you see here is the Periculum Lake in Coimbatore, which is being rejuvenated under the Smart City program. CDD Society has planned these wetlands, and nearly about 30% of the lake area has been converted into wetlands here. And especially these wetlands have been implemented as a part of biodiversity enhancement, as well as wastewater and tertiary treatment of the wastewater. Uh, in an urban context, getting back the wetlands in cities, it might be a difficult phenomenon. But what how we can you can see here the various examples how we can integrate landscapes in wetlands, and promote the public awareness on wetlands, especially through tourism, and you can see there are various examples like Hoping Wetland Park, Mingu Wetland Park, and Devasara Wetland Park, which will sort of be a recreation, but also has it's bringing the wetlands back into the into the cities too. Uh, mum, mum. Okay. So now we are going to look at the rejuvenation of Mahadevpura Lake, a 26-acre lake, which is located along the outer ring road near very close to Bagmani Tech Park in Bangalore. So the lake was partially rejuvenated by the Burad Bengaluru Mahanagara Palike. They built the necessary hydraulic structures and diverted the wastewater entering to the lake to the downstream side. But the lake was dry most of the times because even the monsoon waters were getting diverted. So in an effort to revive the lake and have water all around the year, so we had United Way of Bengaluru and four other tech firms funding a wastewater treatment plant as part of their CSR. CDD Society designed and implemented the dewat system as well as the floating wetland systems to replenish the lake by mitigating the further pollution. And now I think we could go into the video.
Bangalore city has got more than 200 live lakes, out of which all these lakes have been polluted and they have been receiving sewage. So we have been taking rejuvenation. In some of the lakes we are getting help from NGOs and corporate companies also. For example, Mahadevpura Lake, which is around 26-27 acres. The major contributor for this rejuvenation is United Way and some of the corporate companies. And the technical consultant is CDD. Whatever the budget we had in BBMP was very limited, so we had to approach United Way.
United Way has been working in close to about 20-22 lakes in the last about 7 years, 7-8 years. And United Way's roles and responsibilities would be restricted to enhancing the biodiversity of the water bodies, making the lakes more community friendly. One of the key areas where we work is to see how we can get the corporate social responsibility funds which are available can be directed towards rejuvenating the lakes. We decided that we will take up Mahadevpura Lake, which is abutting the Bagmani Tech Park on the outer ring road of Bangalore, and with the help of a couple of corporate partners like Emphasis, who actually triggered the idea, Amazon, Dell, Cyber, all of us coming together and said that okay, let's see what can be done.
So the key reason for us to look at Mahadevpura was that we were present in Bagmani Tech Park, which is right next to Mahadevpura Lake. I must acknowledge the support that we received from other corporates like Amazon, Cyber and Dell, who also came forward and took ownership as a community of corporates to engage with this and to adopt this lake and set up the SDP plant. It's an example of collaboration. When it comes to environment, these four companies are showing the way to a lot of other companies.
When we were scouting for a very reliable partner in the whole journey, we figured out that it was a pleasure meeting the CDD team.
When they came to us, we went about it quite systematically. We understood the objectives of the project to replenish the lake and keep it full throughout the year, leading to groundwater recharge benefits and microclimate benefits and improving the overall aesthetics of the place. Our job was to freeze the capacity of the plant, choose the inlet from which we would draw the wastewater, and also collect all the data required to carry on with the overall process design.
We are expecting three major outcomes from this initiative. One is improved green cover, improved biodiversity of flora and fauna, increased involvement of the key stakeholders, especially community taking interest in maintaining it in the long run. And third most important is also improvement in the quality of water that goes into the lake.
The treatment process is called DWATS, which is CDD's approach to decentralized wastewater treatment. It is primarily an anaerobic treatment system with an aerobic kind of post-treatment module, and in this case that module is gabions and floating wetlands. What is unique about this process is it's very low on energy consumption. It doesn't require any process energy. It is very low on operator skill requirement. It's a low maintenance kind of system. It is also very robust in the sense that it can take fairly good variations in inflow volume as well as inflow quality. So the major challenge in this project was to actually construct the intake and diversion structure because we are dealing with a live drain where there was continuous wastewater inflow. So we had to create a temporary diversion drain. We also had to integrate this diversion structure with existing structure in the lake. And there was one more surprise that was thrown up when we started working. We realized that there is a sewage line broken right at the inlet of the lake, and we were asked by BBMP to see if we can integrate that into our project, and we did that integration as more of an unforeseen intervention. Other big challenge on this project was that we had early onset of monsoons. In the month of March we had some heavy showers because of which there was some breach of the earthen structures. We had to rebuild that and all of that.
The coming of large number of these migratory birds, a very robust aquatic life in the water are all indications to say that the project is definitely showing all the success which we had anticipated.
The project also envisages operations, and the whole design build operate model is really what has been followed, with a lot of flexibility that comes with CSR financing. If this project does well, it would become a very good example for a lot of others to follow.
When it gets completed, it would be first of its kind, a 1 million liters per day sewage treatment plant which is getting installed in the city. We sincerely, truly appreciate the partnership with all the stakeholders who have come together to make this project a success.
If you look at Mahadevpura Lake, there you had some land available at the mouth of the inlet, and we could build a treatment system there and put the treated wastewater into the lake. But here, if you see in Alapi, there are a lot of series of interconnected canals, and you have in the left the Arabian Sea, and in the right you have the rivers and the Vembanad Lake, and there are series of the interconnected canals, and the behavioral pattern is very sometimes also complex to understand. And since it's in the heart of the city, the major problem was the wastewater discharged from these households used to end up in these two canals, polluting, creating mass of the weeds, the water hyacinth. So every month, or every 6 months, the municipality used to remove these weeds, but in the next 6 months the weeds used to come back. So looking at the source, we thought of I try to identify what is the source of this issue. So the source was the wastewater from these settlements. So what did we do here is try to select a subdrain as a pilot model, and treat the wastewater at the source itself before letting them into the canal. So here also we plan to implement floating wetlands as part of the rejuvenation project, and this is one of the most successful projects that you could see, and I would request everyone to see this video.
Rejuvenation of the canal network of Alapura. Dotting the coastline of Arabian Sea in Kerala, India, the quaint town of Alapura has often been described as the Venice of the East, with its picturesque canals, backwaters, beaches and lagoons. As the oldest planned backwater town of Kerala, Alapura's main waterways, which link the Arabian Sea on the west to the Vembanad Lake on the east, were once its nerve centers. Unfortunately, with the port losing its commercial importance, road networks and automobiles getting more prominence, Alapura's canal network slowly started losing their purpose. Today they have been reduced as EC waste dumping spaces, a cause for major pollution, health concerns and poor aesthetics. In late 2017, On advice of the state leadership, Keela and IIT Mumbai organized the winter school to study and suggest the methodology to address the rejuvenation of the canal network. The team brought in CDD Society of India, KUSAT, and Inspiration Kochi, who sat together and drew up a vision to rejuvenate Alappuzha's lifeline. A vision to clean and rejuvenate its 14 canal sheds, set in position liquid and solid waste treatment systems for over 40,000 households and buildings, create over 10 km of green pedestrian walkways, bringing back vibrant life on the water's edge, move towards efficient water transport network, in the process create several thousand green jobs for a range of skilled as well as unskilled labor.
And this approach we have adopted in Alappuzha, which is the philosophical base of this project, succeeds. We will have created a model for the whole world.
As a first step towards realizing this dream, the team has launched work on a pilot project taking 400 meters of a sub-canal. The project is guided by enthusiastic support of all related government departments and the political leadership cutting across party lines. The stretch is home to around 100 individual houses, 48 households who live in the municipal colony, and a few commercial establishments and institutions. The approach adopted emphasizes on decentralized, at source treatment of the pollution with active participation from the community. These include cleaning, desilting, and providing screens at regular intervals to discourage further dumping of waste. The screen shall also help as a tool to define local canal committees. The bed profile of the canal shall be shaped to improve flow. For the municipal colony, a community of 48 economically weak households, the project shall address the sanitation shortfall together with providing an on-site decentralized wastewater treatment system. 25 volunteer households shall be provided with separate at-source treatment systems for black and grey water. This will help evolve policy decisions for the entire town with a combination of incentives, soft loans and regulations. Policies shall be strictly enforced to ensure that the hotspots in private sector set up their own treatment systems and let off treated water only as per discharge norms. The present solid waste management shall be fine-tuned. Biodegradables will be treated at source, non-biodegradables collected at community level to discourage dumping into the canals. The canal banks shall be made attractive and accessible as green walkways with good lighting, paving, dustbins and motivational graffiti. With these interventions at source, the quality of water on the sub-canal shall improve considerably when it discharges into the main canal. Here, there shall be constructed wetlands, phytorids and floating wetlands to further improve its quality. The project shall also initiate setting up the first fecal sludge treatment plant at the city level. The awareness campaign, Thodu Odayalla, Canals are not drains, to raise awareness and garner public participation has already been launched all over the town. Further, the canal committees shall be trained and equipped for maintenance of the systems for a year, after which they shall take over as the custodians of their natural heritage pride. May 2018 saw over 300 students from all over the country attending the summer school focused on a unique participative documentation and discussions on the challenges of scaling up. Adopting such a decentralized participative approach, Alappuzha aspires to rejuvenate and restore its network of canals, a role model not just for our country but even to the world.
There are a lot of challenges, especially these nature-based solutions or interventions which use nature and natural functions of healthy ecosystems to tackle some of the most pressing challenges of our time. These type of solutions help protect environment but also provide numerous economic and social benefits. Even though there are many people who design these systems, the on-ground implementation of these systems, of these solutions, pose a challenge as there is a huge execution gap. The current nature-based solutions implemented on ground are of usually a smaller scale, and looking at that, there are no much potential players in India for a larger scale implementation of these solutions designed. With this, I close my presentation. You can go to our website, cddindia.org. We have many publications on water body rejuvenation or approach to water body rejuvenation. We have a compendium of case studies that has been developed with 13 case studies. 13 case studies. You can just log into our website and have a look at various publications across the verticals. I said the wastewater treatment, fecal fluid management, capacity building, applied research, and many other integrated projects. Thank you for providing me an opportunity to be a part of this forum. And if you have any questions or something, you can write back to me in the email that is shown. Yeah, thank you again.